Wonderful listeners and viewers of Living Television, you're welcome again today on your favorite program, Issues of the Moment. In today's Issues of the Moment, we'll be looking at a statement credited to Gumi that says, "Don't act like Buhari, negotiate with bandits," Gumi tells Tinubu. That's what we'll be looking at today at this first segment, and then we're going to, as usual, we have our analyst in the house. From my far left, I have Honorable Tony Abayem, Democracy. Democracy is a foremost legislator in Aban North, and until today, a media man and a public affairs analyst. Honorable, you're welcome to the program.
Thank you, Prof, for having me.
After him, I have a historian with us in the studio today. A historian, not just a historian, is also a televangelist, a man who loves dealing with dates and numbers. He is no other person but Comrade Nnamdi Elekwachi. Comrade, you're welcome to the program.
Thank you for having me. Good day, viewers.
All right, Kaduna-based Muslim cleric Sheikh Ahmad Gumi on Tuesday sought government's permission to approach and have talks with the bandits who have abducted about 287 students and also from 2 different schools. Gumi also asked the President Tinubu to ensure he accepts negotiations with these bandits. He also warned Tinubu not to behave like the former president, Alhaji Buhari. On that note, he said if he's allowed, that he can take the negotiation upon himself on behalf of Nigerians to negotiate. I want to start with you, Comrade. Talking about these bandits that have terrorized Nigerians, kidnapping students, this is not the first, nor the second, nor the third. And the man, highly placed, like Gumi now says, he can negotiate with them. What does that tell Nigerians?
Well, it is, like I keep saying, and like I've said before, previously, in other interventions, it simply goes a long way painting the rather tragic picture that Nigeria has lost it, that Nigeria has actually carried all the indices of a failed state. If the federal government is no longer able to secure the citizens and their property, it simply means that the state is failing. And let me say this for the purpose of emphasis. According to international law, there is what is known as state responsibility. And state responsibility simply says that one of the notions of this assumption is that a state must be able at all times to protect its citizens. And then it goes on to talk about the attributes of a state. So a state must have 3 things. 1, the landmass on the territory. 2, population. 3, government. So when government is unable to protect its territory and those living in it, then that government has failed. So another actor now, non-state actor, coming to assume the responsibility of what government should be doing, whether to negotiate from the angle of strength or to negotiate from the angle of weakness, simply points to something that Nigeria is fast losing it. We've lost a huge swath of territory to non-state actors occupying in fact, the forest margins of this country are now being controlled by non-state actors, and that's why you see kidnapping. Do you know what it takes to kidnap 200 persons in a day, and you are using motorcycle? So what Gumi is saying, he has been saying this before now, simply means 1, that Gumi has that knowledge or that idea or that assumption or the belief that the Nigerian government has failed and Nigerian is no longer able to negotiate. You understand? So that is a huge challenge. And then we are looking now at track 2 diplomacy. Diplomacy achieved by non-state actors in collaboration or in dialogue. So however that goes, it simply means that we are losing mechanism of being a state. But questions also have to be asked. Why Gumi? Is he a back channel? Is he opening a back channel, or is he an armchair diplomat to actually curate or even pilot such negotiations if they were to happen?
All right, Honorable. remember before now, the Nigerian, both the media, the social media and so on, there was a time it was rumored that most of these people who are involved, especially in terms of this payment of these ransoms by these either kidnappers or hoodlums, that most of them are religious leaders and so on. Now, we assume that Gumi, because talking about negotiating with them means he knows where they are.
Well, it's a common fact. It's known by everybody. Because this country is owned by, is assumed. Some people claim they own this country. They are untouchable. They are sacred. If you touch them, it will be like a time bomb. Everywhere will get exploded. So you don't contemplate going into touching them no matter what they do. Had it been Sheikh Gumi is to be an Igbo man. We could have forgotten about him in jail. You can imagine our brother in Lagos who just said, if the state actors, if the government of Lagos fails to protect us and our businesses, we are going to we'll look for an option, probably bring in IPOB. He's in prison today.
That was all.
And nobody said anything. Nobody has said anything. And a man who claims to be a cleric, a man that's supposed to be a role model, knows where the kidnappers are, has been negotiating and taking money from them, where a train coming between Abuja to Lagos to Kaduna was bombed and wrecked and people kidnapped and millions of naira was paid to release some of them. And he was the chief negotiator. And nothing happened. Nobody asked. And somebody was using his phones to make calls and all of that. And if any boy or anybody anywhere insults probably the president or the wife today, in the next 24 hours, he'll be caught. You can imagine that. So we are saying that the country has failed. The country, to the best of my knowledge, because of administrative weakness, shows that the country is too large to be governed. Some countries, I was told the other day that one of the countries, Equatorial Guinea, we played football the other day with and the AFCON, last AFCON, is about 2.5 million. So what are we doing here? Aba alone is bigger than Equatorial Guinea. What are we doing here? We cannot manage it again. We don't have the capacity, the capability to manage this country. Some people say, oh, after all, China and India is overlooking 2 billion. So why can't we? Now we are just 200 million. My brother. And we can't manage it. The best thing we have to do is to start thinking on how to bring this home, how to kind of reduce the burden of governance, so that because if between Kaduna and Nasarawa is just a country, why can't the president control it? If between Aba and Imo is just a country, I can be the president, I can control it. And some people are telling us that within that Kaduna area where this thing happened, no communication, no mask, you can't make a call, nothing goes on there. Why can't we start reducing this thing as much as we can chew?
All right. Comrade, let me come back to you because of the level of insecurity, or rather the degree of insecurity in Nigeria today, and the man has openly come out to tell the world, to tell Nigerians that they know something about the bandits. And yet, 247, our military are talking about men mount everywhere and so on, as if they are looking for these bandits. Now, a man has volunteered to say, I know where they are, but because invariably that is what is telling the federal government in the name of negotiation.
I think the federal we will be mistaken, or we will be misleading people who are listening to us to say or to even assume or to imply by whatever means that the federal government does not know where these people are. They know where they are. Because the governor of Niger State granted an interview where he was crying. Remember after the attack, he said that the bandits are populating. In fact, that they had actually commandeered primary schools. He mentioned certain local government councils. Then the former governor of that state, Amawel, also said something about bandits controlling Shiroro. The Shiroro Act is where you have the Shiroro Dam, and that they even administer taxes farmers have to pay taxes. So this is no longer, we cannot pretend about this. And its point is still that indicator of a failed state. The Kaduna state you are even talking about is the most secure state in Nigeria, if we are to be candid, if we are to be objective with the truth, and I will explain. You have about 10 to 11 to 13 military formations there. I'm talking about military logistics, military installation, military offices, including schools. Stations there. Yeah. No, presence. Yes, I'm talking about the...
Why the attacks?
Yes, the NDA was there too, and I was also attacked by the same bandits. But I'm telling you something.
See so what they are secured in paper.
Yeah. Now see what I want to say. Now you have such formations there. You have the Navy, you have the Air Force, you have the Army. All of them have one office or the other there. It simply means Nigeria can coordinate what we call amphibious attack, both fighting area in air, land, and sea, anyhow. But yet you will want me to believe that for hours, bandits so-called, because we are so economical with the truth. These are terrorists. These are criminals. They are not bandits. Let's call them what they are. That they will come and launch that operation for hours unintercepted. They were not beaten back, and they will use motorcycle to kidnap over 200. My brother, see, there is hardly a community in Ali now that you can go to and steal 200 tubers of yam.
Yeah,
from a bank. So how can you kidnap human beings? There is conspiracy somewhere, and people like Gumi, even people from the military, they are aware of this. Some persons are cashing in every year. Just look at the report of last year, the last quarter of last year. The reporting period which covers the months of October, November and December. Nigeria spent 5 trillion naira on armored vehicles. It's not to include what we spend on millions we are spending on other gadgets. We say we want to make the war have a technological phase. But unfortunately, we are not able to secure an inch of the places, of the coordinates where these persons are reigning supreme. And the Honorable made a vital point. If the DSS had been briefed, they've been given the chance. They go after anybody insulting the president. Go after, you understand? I read in the news and I became agitated, seriously agitated, that the Nigerian security agencies were told to go after farmers who are hoarding produce. That's how we reduce security under Tinubu. That the police, the military, that they should go after farmers who are hoarding their produce, who may be hoarding for the next planting season, or to even feed themselves. And you are going after them when you have not even provided in the environment. So if this thing can happen in Kaduna, it simply means it can happen elsewhere. It can happen anywhere, because I do not understand. So now, Gumi is talking. It's not the first time of talking. Gumi has not even been interrogated. Let's understand his interest. Like I did say, is he an armchair diplomat? Is he trying to create a back channel to open negotiation? What's his role? He's a non-state actor, and he do that for the matter. And I'll tell you something. Once he came out to grant interview where he said the bandits are not happy because Muslims are being killed. That's Gumi. And it's a very controversial one. Now, if people like Gumi could say all those things and go free, we have concern that someone like Obidaya Mailefia was treated differently. So why was Obidaya Mailefia, who gave certain revelations about what is happening in the security apparatus, so to me, I think we are not being sincere. And every day, people who sit in fat committees, maybe Committee on National Security or National Defense, they will liaise, they will interface. Billions and trillions of naira will be released, go and procure arms, and at the end of the day, we are back to square one, and we keep trying. Even our military institutions like the NDA had been invaded, attacked, persons killed by bandits. So the truth is that if they are no longer capable of managing the security affairs of the state, like Honorable said, they should decentralize. Let the state take shares. And I want to say this, you see, this has become a recurrent decimal. Under Goodluck Jonathan, it began attacks on schools, coordinated attacks on schools. The one that hurt me so much badly, and we're going to talk about it here, was the Buniyadi attack, where 59 male students were caught in their prime. Secondary school boys were killed, 59 of them. We don't even talk about that until Chibok happened in 2014 around April. Due to social media amplification and the spotlighting, people were joining the online campaign, bring back our guests. The world heard that one. Buhari came, promised to secure Nigeria every inch to recover. He will win the terrorists by 6 months. Under his watch, Dapchi happened. From Dapchi, Buhari was given a gift the day he was returning to his home state, Katsina. Kagara boys were kidnapped 2 hours from his home. We also had the Kagara boys too. We plethora of kidnapping. So we are not serious. And someone in the military, someone in the government, they may be sabotaging the effort of the federal government to keep this country secure. And that's my
all right, finally, before we go, Honorable, I remember sometime somebody, even the past administration, talked about knowing some of these people, some of the sponsors of these bandits and so on.
A list was released.
A list was released, but it was not made public. It was not made public. Then do we now assume that the government are directly or indirectly involved in what is happening?
Well, General Sani Abacha, while head of state, when bombings and all of that was exploding here and there, he made a statement that if any terrorist attack or activity lasts for more than 24 hours, it is possible that state actors are involved. And let me just tell you that individuals in Nigeria are stronger than the government. Because if individuals are not stronger than the government, our president cannot tell us that on the 29th of May 2023, he mounted the saddle as our president, standing before the seal of the President, Federal Republic of Nigeria. He wrecked the economic and social productive life of this country. And what was the reason? That it is only few individuals that are benefiting from the so-called subsidy. And he removed the subsidy and plunged us into an astronomical economic crisis. And you said few individuals we are benefiting. And you know them. What you could have done is to clamp down on the few individuals and let the subsidy continue, because there is nowhere in the world where subsidy is not applied in governance. Either you subsidize transportation, you subsidize healthcare, you subsidize education. Something must be subsidized. There must be a social security for the people. Here, what does the government do for you, Prof? Nothing. You do everything for yourself. If your wife is pregnant, you don't have money to take her to a antenatal clinic.
She dies in the process.
If your child is sick and you don't have money to take her to primary health care center, you get there, they say it is done by the government, yet you pay. If you don't have money, your children will not go to school. If you don't have money to buy gas and fuel, you are your own, you sleep in darkness. And so many other things. So, individuals are now stronger than the government of Nigeria. That is exactly what this government of Nigeria has made us to know. And they cannot release that because probably the list they saw is baffling. Some of them, their names may be there. So the best thing to do is to pretend as if nothing happened and probably, let's move on. At the end of the day, our Chibuana, so the next day, Super Eagles will play and defeat Equatorial Guinea, and we'll start discussing that one. That will be the end of that very hot issue. And the next day, you hear the other one and forgot the one that happened before Super Eagles. That is what we are going to
about that.
So we are in trouble here. This country, one pastor was saying the other day, no pastor was saying that before now that he preaches against Jagbari. My members, if you have money, Jagbari, there is no hope for this country. And if you look at it on a daily basis, that is what it is. The future of the country is very dangerous, very hopeless. Nobody is doing anything. Our president will mount the saddle every time, the podium every day, and start jesting. There, I will not say anything serious. The other day he was jesting and castigating Joe Ajero. What is wrong in opposition? Opposition makes even from the family level. If you are the first son of the house, or the leader of the house, or the father of the house, the pressure on your family makes you perform. Not to talk of when you are holding our common patrimony. You've rubbished the country. The money the salary that is paid in the last 15 years is what they're still paying today. The time a liter of fuel was about 65 naira. That was when the last minimum wage was made or so. And today, a liter of fuel is overlooking 1,000 naira. And we are still paying the person the same thing. When a bag of rice was 8,000 naira. That is the same salary you are paying them now. A bag of foreign rice is 100 and something thousand. You can imagine that.
All right,
oh my goodness.
Comrade, before we will leave, do you think that the government is going to allow this or sweep it under the carpet, the comment of Gumi, because of his position maybe?
Honorable has said something before. He used the word untouchable. Yes, you know, some time ago, just a few hours ago, I was discussing with someone what was at issue. The National Assembly members, you know, they are having bickering, they are having argument now over the issue of budget padding, which began under Buhari or got intensified under Buhari in 2017, 2018. We came to realize that certain senators will receive 500 million naira, while others will receive as low as 75 million naira for constituency fee. It tells you something, that the Senate, where there is equality of states, every state has 3 lawmakers there. Not the House of Reps, where you have, some have 20, some have, other has 8. That some senators are more equal than other senators. Some citizens in Nigeria are more equal than other citizens. You understand what I'm saying now? What Gumi has said is to tell you that there is a level of alliance I have with these persons. So whether the federal government wants to get him or not is their business. But what Gumi is saying is that I have some understanding with these persons. So you, government, cannot negotiate, even with your power, even with the instrumentality of statehood. You cannot negotiate. You cannot drive the bargain. I, a non-state actor, one individual, can go into the forest and perform the wonder. And don't forget, they also engage in service during the Kaduna bound train bomb blast. So what are we not talking? What we are saying here is that government has ceded its responsibility. You understand? That government has now accommodated to be like a state within a state, terrorist, and government has this stop short of labeling them what they are, preferring to prevaricate and call them bandits. We must name these groups. See, when they attacked Nasarawa early this year, sorry, that last December, at the eve of December, the villagers said they were shouting Allahu Akbar. And one of the interviews
told you that if they want to go attacking the terrorists,
yeah,
you understand that their commander will tell them not to go, that they are praying. That it is a taboo to attack them when they are
praying. So you can imagine. So you can
so how did the commander know that they are praying?
The commander knows everything about them.
So what level of commitment is there? There is no commitment in the first place.
Yeah.
So it's terrible where we found ourselves, and until we do something drastic, we may have lost a huge part of this country. Don't forget what USA, UK, Netherlands, Australia were telling their citizens that Abuja will soon be captured. It didn't take up to 1 year. Our Abuja was under threat. But when that travel advisory was issued, Lai Mohammed flew.
Yes.
He went across, started going everywhere. He started, jamboree. What happened? It wasn't up to 1 year. FCT was under threat. That UK was bearing the pressure. We are all witnesses.
All right, wonderful viewers and listeners, that's the much we're going to take for now, and then we'll come back for the second segment. From my far left is Honorable Tinubu, Democracy. What is your final take on this issue today?
Well, it's quite unfortunate that our forefathers brought us here, because there's nothing to celebrate about this place. I was discussing with a friend of mine who left Aba with his family to America, and he was laughing like, goodness me. The laughing was more of jest. Thank God I've left that place for you. If you like, stay back there, go and look for money and start coming over here. That is a place where if you have money, if you don't, that is a classless society. A place where whether you have money or not, you go to school. Whether you have money or not, a council can represent you in the court. Whether you have money or not, you go to the hospital. Whether you have money or not, you have a roof over your head. If you don't have food in your house, you come to the town hall every morning in America and you'll be given a meal ticket, pancake, and all the rest of it to hold yourself, pending when you get a job. Here, tell me who is doing that here. Tell me, you can imagine here in Abia where we live. Other governors are talking about how to cushion the effect of, doing the palliative thing, adding money, the wage award and all that. Our governor has refused to say anything about it. The palliative rights and all the money that was brought up to today, he told us he was going to use it for transportation. Go out there and see what these 3 cycle people are doing with their people. Killing our people like chicken. And the government is not doing anything. Like what's going of them across the state.
All right.
No sense of responsibility. And you say, if somebody is reincarnated, I'll come back here again. Well, it's not just because you just come here once. And it means that a man reincarnates after that, my brother, let God not bring me here again. On a very serious note.
A friend of mine once told me that it's only the poor that talks about reincarnation. Those who are better off will not want to live even here in a haste. So, comrade, the final take.
Well, my final take is simple. I think we need to do more in terms of security provision. We need to strengthen our laws. We need to ask ourselves vital questions. Because I think create that scenario where you have the states control their territory, their portion of Nigeria. I'm not sure that there is any state that will want to lag behind, because terrorism is taking them light years behind. You understand? But it's become an enterprise for some persons, including some clerics, not even Gumi. There are some persons who are cashing in on these things. You understand? And some persons, now, if Gumi is to negotiate with them, are we going to create office for him? Are we going to also fund him? Yes, we have got to take this into consideration. You understand?
Yes.
So are we going to create a safe corridor for him? Are we going to create an office? How are you going to perform this? Now, it brings us back to something. We are not even fighting the basics. And the Honorable said something here. There is hunger in the land. You will always see sympathizers, people who are willing to enlist and then even volunteer for Boko Haram bandits, name them whatever, and some name them what you want. Now, in Nigeria, we killed the third tier of government. And every day we complain of hunger. The local government is not functioning. Honorable said something here. He said, people will go to council. Where do you find that? The third tier of government. In the United States of America, they have only one central government, which is headed by Biden. They have 50 co-equal states at the subnational level. Then they have counties, about over 3,000 of them. These counties take care of what? Food program, food intervention. Mm-hmm. It is only in Nigeria that you see the federal government sharing food, which does not make sense. Federal government is sharing food for school children. Now, how can we get the country working? When we decentralize the structure of security, where the local government is able to play alongside the states and then the federal, we can be talking about what? Freeing our children. Now they are telling us something, 40 trillion naira. The budget of this year, which is still being debated, is 28.7 trillion naira. And they are telling us to pay 40 trillion naira, which is to tell us, forget about these ones we've actually killed.
And somebody said he went to what do you call it, Qatar, to invest investors.
And we are even yesterday, the news broke that UAE had given many countries, you understand, work visa 5 years, except Nigeria, and they were emphatic. The same country we are looking to partner with.
All right, wonderful viewers and listeners, you've had it all. I think when you talk about the third tier of government, we've discussed that at large here, but unfortunately, I think that is it is within our borders here, because I think it started here in Abia State during the time of not just Okalo, talking about this local government. First, they had to reduce their term to 2 years instead of the normal 4 years. It was supposed to be 4 years, but not just about reducing it. Why having that joint account, the local government cannot grade local roads anymore.
Yeah, unless they go to Umaya and get money.
Unless they go to Umaya or the governor out of sheer benevolence give them a little. That is too bad.
And they used to have tractor, harvester, plows.
Yes, in the local government. Yes, in the local government.
And they were able to locate the farming clusters. Even parties, yes.
The councils cannot even collect revenue today. The council staff is just there to collect salary when it comes. They do nothing. They are taking their face and
it's quite unfortunate. It's not all the time. All the time we cannot be blaming the federal government. I think our brothers, the governors and so on, also they are helping.
They are the worst enemies of the government.
They are
even when Buhari gave that executive order, I think executive order number 10, to say that every governor must make sure that he allows the councils some level of autonomy. The governors countered it through the governors forum. And yesterday, or 2 days ago, the president was talking in Niger. He was saying, although I found that quite laughable, he was saying that if the governors will cooperate or give him land, he will end the farmer-herders clash. And that's it.
All right, our wonderful viewers, that's the much we are going to take for now. Remember, life is not computed by its duration, but by its donation. It doesn't really matter how long you live on planet Earth here, but what you're able to drop in as legacy in the footprint of life matters so much. How many people have you put smiles on their faces? How many persons will see you and want to see you again? It is important. And having said that, that is the motto. From my far left, I have Honorable Tinubu in Democracy. Democracy, we are happy to have you here today.
Prof, thank you. You're going to give me my lunch now.
Comrade, thank you for being part of today's success story.
Thank you. I'm seconding the motion, the launch motion moved by Honorable.
As the eyes have it.
The eyes have it already.
I so second.
All right, wonderful viewers, that's the much we're going to take. I have been your in command, Chinedum Kotsen Adiele. Keep it with us. We'll be back soon. Bye for now.